My name's Angelo, and welcome to We Want Picks. I'm going to give you my favorite PrizePicks entry for UFC 297. If you don't know what PrizePicks is, it's daily fantasy. You come in here, you say more or less than the numbers you see on the screen, and if you are right, you can 10 times your money. You get 100 times your money with certain bonuses and combining other sports. There's a lot of flexibility. You could even lose and win money, and they will even give you free money to play. The only thing you need to do is go to wewantpicks.com/prizepicks. Use promo code WWP, and they will instantly match your deposit. If you give them $100, they will give you $100 instantly to play with. You give them $10, they'll give you $10. Whatever you want to give them, they will match it instantly, and you can just use that free money to build yourself an entry. And if you win, you now have 10 times the amount of free money that you can withdraw immediately. WeWantPicks.com/prizepicks, promo code WWP. I am going to focus on UFC, specifically UFC 297, but you can see here across the top with these little purple boxes, this is every single sport. So if you get the itch to play daily fantasy on tennis and video games, well, you can do that here. I will never get that itch, ever. But let's go ahead and build ourselves an entry for UFC 297. There are some lines that I like here. We're going to start with significant strikes, work our way over to fight minutes, then fantasy score, and then takedowns. If we're looking at significant strikes, I'm jazzing all over. If we're looking at significant strikes, I like to find lines that are way too high or way too low. And I do think we have a little bit of that here. We have Brad Katana, 67.5. The reality is this fight is going to go the distance. This fight is going to be a slugfest. Garrett Armfield can wrestle a little bit. Brad Katana can wrestle a little bit. But even if there is some takedowns here and there, Brad has cruised past this number multiple times, and I think he will in this fight as well. Win or lose, I think he cruises past this number. So I think 67.5 is a nice low number for us. A couple of these other lines, if I'm looking, Malcolm Gordon, 27.5, that seems low. I do think that fight's going to go a little longer than people think, but it could just be rolling around grappling, no strikes thrown. So we're going to leave that alone. Jasmine Jasudavicius at 60. The over on that seems solid as well, but again, she may come in here, take Priscila down immediately and potentially submit her, because once Priscila's on the ground, she has nothing to offer. The rest of these lines, a little too tricky. Charles Jourdain, 75.5. That seems high. He is a high-volume guy, but he's fighting a professional boxer. Mayra Brena Silva, that's another one. She has 5 rounds to work with, so that's a good number, but we're going to go over to fight time minutes, and I like her over there instead. Over 22.5 fight minutes. That fight's going to go to a decision. Win or lose, that fight will go to a decision. So I like the over 22.5 fight minutes. The only reason I prefer this over the strikes, you can use the strikes if you're more comfortable with that, but I think I'm more confident in the fight going the distance than I am in the amount of strikes that Mayra Brena Silva will land, because potentially Raquel Pennington could just hold her against the cage for 25 minutes in a boring fight and no significant strikes are landed. So if we look at that, I like that there. And then if we're going to take a look at Chrissy Curtis, where's Chris Curtis? Oh boy, they took that line down. If you are a premium member, you saw it is available for premium members. It has been for 3 days. You saw that I did the Chris Curtis over 13.5 fight minutes. I will show you that here when I'm done. They have removed that line. That line is no longer available. So obviously we don't have it to build into this entry. Premium members, those are people who have gone to WeWantPicks.com. They click become a member at the top. It's $10. They see my entries early and they get these lines before they move and in some cases disappear. So we don't have the Chris Curtis fight minute line to work with. The rest of these I don't trust. The Jasmine, she can get a submission early. Johan Lioness, that could go long because they are both tough, or it could be lights out because Sam Patterson has no chin. Charles Jourdain, again, that could go long because they're both tough, but they're both pretty dangerous guys. Sean Strickland, over 12.5. I do like, let's go ahead, we'll add that. We'll replace the Chris Curtis one. I would have preferred a 1.5 round line. That is what the line is on the sports books, but PrizePicks gave us a 2.25 round line, or 2.5. What the hell am I talking about? 2.25. Let's go ahead and move over to fantasy score. The only one that I really like here is the over on Movsar Evloev. The reason I like that, yes, I think he's going to win. I do think he's due for a finish, but even if he doesn't get a finish here, the amount of takedowns, the amount of strikes that he'll land, like all of that, I love. If we click on him here, we'll go to the scoring chart. We can see what that MMA scoring is. Takedowns are 6 points. He averages 6 takedowns per fight. There is no control time here. This is PrizePicks, not DraftKings, but significant strikes are a little more than half a point. He's not going to defend any takedowns, so that won't matter. There will be submission attempts. Those are 5 points each. And then you get a decision, there's another 20. If there is somehow a finish in the first 3, he can get 50 or more. I think he cruises past this number. If we take a look at PrizePicks fantasy scores, in general, if you are on the right side of a winner, the more makes sense. Obviously, not every time. Styles make fights, styles score points, but the reality is if you're on the winning side and a fighter does what they're supposed to do, you can typically get past that score. And I think if Mosvar wrestles like crazy, he will get past that. And then if we take a look at takedowns, I like the more on Jillian Robertson. I think Polyana Viana, well, I know Polyana Viana is a black belt in jiu-jitsu. I think she's a lot tougher than some people give her credit for. I, too, have mentioned she's sort of knockout or bust, finish or bust, submission or bust. But the or bust here is, I think she's just got to survive. Yes, Jillian Robertson has more finishes in this weight class than anybody, or more submissions than anybody ever. But Polyana Viana is a good high-level black belt. I think she can avoid getting submitted early. I think she can get taken down a few times, stand up a few times. And Jillian's going to win, and I think she gets more than 2 takedowns is the overall point that I'm trying to make. You want to go 1.5 takedowns, Brad Katana? I think the over on that could make sense as well, but I prefer his strike line over his takedown lines. Let's take a look at this entry, and I'll show you the other entry that I built for premium members. We have Brad Katana, more than 67.5 significant strikes. Myra Brena Silva, more than 22.5 fight minutes. Sean Strickland, more than 12.5 fight minutes. This replaced the Chris Curtis line that disappeared. Mosvar Evlaev, more than 89.5 fantasy points. And Jillian Robertson, more than 2 takedowns. We did do 5 entries, so this is automatically going to make it a flex play. All 5 of these correct, we 10 times our money. $20 gets us 200. 4 of them correct, we double the money. 3 of them correct, which means I lost 2. I still get some money back. Let's go ahead and take a look at the entry that I built. Here is that Chris Curtis line that has disappeared. So if Chris Curtis is in that octagon for more than 13.5 minutes, you're going to wish you were a premium member. Sign up for premium membership at WeWantPicks.com and create your PrizePicks account at WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. And when you use promo code WWP, they will instantly match your deposit. Take your very free money and build your own entry. You like this one? Great. You don't? That's fine. Get your free money, build your own entry. You can mix and match sports. You can build other sports. You can do whatever you want. Super flexible. WeWantPicks.com/PrizePicks. Promo code WWP.